Hi everybody and welcome to Heel Heat. This is our TNA show for the week. My name is George Coles. This is my tag team partner, 8 Ball.
8 Ball? Okay, MJG. Gary Rhodes, everybody.
I was talking about Skull and 8 Ball.
I know, but the better tag team was 8 Ball and MJG.
Sure they were.
Well, Skull and 8 Ball.
Might as well go to that party.
Right.
Anywho. First match of the night coming right out the box. Kurt Angle versus Wes Briscoe and Garrett Bischoff.
Angle is doing his damnedest to help these boys get over. I tell you what, he was working with them or working against them.
I thought it was a better match than I thought it was going to be going into it.
Briscoe is an awesome competitor. He just, there's just something that he's lacking, and I think Kurt is helping make up for it.
Yeah, do you think it's too much confidence?
I don't know. You know, confidence is a big thing. I mean, if you walk into a wrestling
Yeah,
ring,
but do you think it's because he thinks he's better than he is?
there's a lot of guys that would have thought that, but maybe that's just his character. I mean, you look at guys like Buff Bagwell. Buff always thought he was better than what he was, and
But Buff was solid.
to an extent. But I think with Kurt Angle helping out Briscoe, do you think? How about this? Is a different question. Do you think it helps Briscoe with Angle working with him or against him?
I think both, either way. I mean,
I do.
anytime you can get in a ring with a guy like Kurt Angle, probably one of the top 10, 20 wrestlers of all time.
What would Bret Hart rate him?
He rated him a 4 out of 10.
Okay. You know, and I know we do our ratings with Bischoff #1, and that's the lowest. But I honestly think Bischoff is getting to be better. I honestly think we might have to redo our #1.
Well, no, because he's working in tag matches, so they're hiding his deficiencies.
I don't know. I'm just telling you that his stock has gone up in the past couple of weeks.
We'll talk about that at some other time.
Okay.
Let's just review the show we're at right now. That's insider information.
All right.
And you know that I'm part of the outsiders.
Are you part of the Ace and Eights? Are you with Scott Hall? Are you Scott Hall? Anyways, douche. I know 96 was here. Next match was for the X Division Championship. Zema Ion, Petey Williams, and Kenny King.
It was a very good match. Kenny King is using this 3-way match to his advantage and working the psychology of him very well.
And it's showing off Kenny King's ability. You know, most champions would hate a 3-way because the champion is always at the disadvantage. And he's, like you said, he's making it his advantage.
Yes. Now, the one thing that everybody has to like is we got to see the Canadian Destroyer.
It's the badass move in wrestling right now, I'm telling you. I'm sorry, it just looks awesome, bro. What move is better than that?
Attitude adjustment.
Really? It's after 8 o'clock, is it past your bedtime, you douche? Anyways.
There's a move that we've been waiting to see since Aces and Eights have joined together that destroys them all. The 3D.
Yes. But anyways, as far as a singles wrestler, that their signature maneuver, I do like the Canadian Destroyer.
It was a good match. Kenny King ends up going over. It worked well. It builds into his reign, which is turning out to be a really decent run. Starts off by beating Rob Van Dam. They change it. Now he's starting to beat some of the legends of the X Division.
What was the last person he beat was Sanjay, wasn't it?
Yeah. So you got guys like Sanjay Dutt, Zema Ion, Petey Williams. I mean, next week Chris Sabin comes back, so there's another guy he can put on the list.
Yeah. Or Chris gets that belt back.
Yeah, there you go.
They want to keep Chris, and Chris is he's a high stock wrestler.
Next thing we have, speaking of getting back, we have Devon versus Magnus. Now, before the match even starts, the Aces and Eights jump Magnus on the walkway coming in, lay him out.
Nasty double choke slam too.
Yeah.
By Gallows and
Knox, whatever they're called.
Gallows and Knox.
You mean Doc and Knox?
Luke Gallows and Knox.
At least give him the right gimmick.
I like him. I like the way. I don't know. Anyways.
What did I was trying to think of it all week and I couldn't remember. What did the Harris brothers used to call that double choke slam? Was it the H-bomb?
I think so.
Yeah.
It was the H-bomb because the Harris to H. Yeah.
There you go.
I always liked the double choke slam. I mean, honestly.
The best part about that is the promo that Joe cut after, the Angry Joe promo, which leads to a match with Joe versus Devon later. That was the best part of that.
You know, here's the thing with Joe. because we're talking about this whole situation. Joe was kind of floundering before the Aces and Eights came about, and at first he was going back up in the card, and he's kind of floundering again. How do you think the Aces and Eights have affected Joe right now?
It remains to be seen.
Well, with these interviews, like the interview he just cut,
I mean, it all depends on what they push him through. I mean, Aces and Eights, the end game's looking to be Hogan versus Bully Ray.
Yeah.
Bully Ray. So where's Joe fit into that? You see what I mean? But anyway.
Well, everything has to get to fit Hulk.
There we go.
He's 60 years old. He has to be world champion.
Anyway, going right back to the show, we had Miss Tessmacher versus Mickie James. A decent match. I've seen better from both of them. I mean, nothing really to write home about. Neither one. They talked about Velvet Sky injuring her knee, so both of them kind of were wrestling for the number one contender match. I believe Tess pulled it out, right? I believe so. That's how much I didn't care about.
That's how much I really had. That was a piss break match. I'm sorry.
And
I hate saying it. It's not that that was a women's match. It was just
that match.
That match was that stale.
It was boring. Mickie James is. She hasn't really wrestled much, and Tessmacher is not the best opponent for her.
No.
Tessmacher's still really green, and it showed.
Well, it's like with Mickie. I mean, the same thing for TNA with Mickie is the same thing that happened with WWE with Mickie. She was being forced down our throats in WWE. After Trish retired, they were trying to put all the weight on her shoulders where she couldn't handle it there. And then they got rid of her. Now TNA gets her, and it's just they're trying to put all the weight of the show on her, which I think Velvet does a better job than Mickie James. That's my opinion of it. She's a better performer, and she's been with the company since day one.
Not since day one.
Well, a shitload longer than Mickie.
And coming off of that, we had an interview, basically promo segment with Bad Influence, Aries and Rude, Chilver and Hernandez. Same thing they always do with this.
The thing is, you were so excited when you saw Bad Influence. What do they have?
They have brand new T-shirts.
It's like, dude, calling dibs on was it
the black and orange.
Black and orange.
I go with the Flyers colors, man. You got the black and yellow, you be the Steelers, or the black and red, you could be the Wolfpack.
Oh, Wolfpack. Sorry.
But yeah, they finally made Bad Influence T-shirts. About goddamn time, in my opinion.
Well, hell, dude, they didn't give them the name Bad Influence until after they were the champions.
There you go.
You know, it's just to me, it just seems like TNA is dropping a ball on these guys, but they're so damn good and they're so damn entertaining that I don't care.
They're going to force their way in.
They are, and I tell you what, Bad Influence to me reminds me of your old 1990s DX, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Edge and Christian. You know, the real cocky, pretty boy tag teams.
Speaking of tag teams in the TNA tag team division,
You're welcome. Segue.
Our question of the week from last week was, what two guys on the TNA roster would you stick together to make a tag team a la Team Hell No? Now we got an answer from one of our friends, Handsome Pat Fannin. He put Jay Bradley and Magnus. I think it's a very interesting team. I mean, they'd be destroyers together. I mean, I like Magnus pretty good. I think they're building towards a long run with him on the top. But with the discussion the way it is, I like that team. I think they'd be ass kicking team, kind of like an Acolytes kind of team.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think would be a good?
Well, I'm going with Magnus, and actually I'm going with another guy that he was partnered with back in the day, Rob Terry. I think that if
a new British invasion.
I don't think they don't have to do nothing to do with their British invasion. I think if they can come in there and be ass kickers. Honestly, I mean, I see a lot of potential with Magnus, and the same could be seen for Terry. It's just he needs somebody with him that can cover his indiscrepancies and hide all his deficiencies. Yeah, and I think Magnus is good enough now to do it. I don't think Magnus was good enough back then. He was still young. He was 21 years old. So I think this Magnus now could help make Rob Terry a superstar and help himself in the process.
I'm going to go in a little bit of a different direction. I'm going to go with some guys that are in OVW right now, but they're technically under contract with TNA. Gunner and Crimson.
That's a good one.
I think it would work well. They both have a military background. They both seem to have a decent push that just cut out of nothing.
Well, Crimson was undefeated for how long?
A long time.
And as soon as he gets his first defeat, they take him off television.
There you go.
that's bad booking to me. I think. I mean, if there was problems, they shouldn't have put him up there in the first place.
Well, I think they would work well together. Gunner, I think out of the two is a better worker, which could help Crimson come up. Crimson has the better look though.
Yeah.
So together, I think they would help each other become better.
Mm-hmm.
Now, coming off of that, our question of the week for next week, we've talked about a lot of these guys in TNA, some of the younger people we just mentioned. Who do you think has the brightest future in TNA? Let us know what you think. Hit us up on our Facebook, put it on our Twitter, put it down where?
Down there.
Right down there in the comments.
Broke the neighbor's window, son of a bitch. Anyways.
And after that, we're going right back into the show because that was a waste of my time that I'm never going to get back.
No, but you get to watch it. Anyways, next match we're going to have Samoa Joe versus Devon.
I thought it was a decent match. I mean, it is what it is. Devon, I'm a Dudley's fan, but Devon's never been the best in-ring talent in the world. I thought it was a good match.
So he was a Jannetty of the group?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I heard you say, he was a Jannetty.
Oh, yeah. Kind of like Perfect's a Jannetty of Perfect and Rude.
Whatever.
Or no, Perfect's a Jannetty of Perfect and Gilbert. I don't know part with that one. That was a Roy Hobbs. You see the lights blow up?
Caught it. No, I caught it.
Did you see the lights blow
no,
up?
No, the lights didn't blow up. I caught it right here.
That's a natural.
No, you were natural.
I called my shot.
Did you call your shot?
And he shut the hell up. It was a good match. He says Nate's Jump Joe. Or he cheats to win, basically. You know, gives a little bit of screen time to Mr. Anderson and them guys. I hope that when they bring Mr. Anderson from this, they do something more with him. Because the guy could be one of the main event stars there, but...
Well, he's a former world champion, and he's the fourth banana in the group.
Yeah.
And he should be number two.
Or a leader.
Or a leader. You know, I'm not going to take thunder away from Bully Ray. Bully Ray is on top of his game.
No, Bully Ray's awesome, but I'm just saying.
I mean, honestly...
Mr. Anderson's good, too.
Anderson has the potential to be the face of that company.
The only thing that holds Anderson back, in my opinion, is the rapid-fire turns between face and heel. Mm-hmm. And the only reason I know he's heel now is because he's wearing an Aces and Eights jacket.
I honestly think what we were talking about when they first were trying to recruit him for Aces and Eights is if he would have pulled the DDP move, he'd be the face of the company right now.
There you go.
And I think right now he's just in the hodgepodge. He is like what Kurt Hennig was with the NWO. And, you know, you're bringing up my favorite wrestler, but I mean, basically when he was at the NWO, he was... No, but he was in the hodgepodge. You know what I'm saying? He was
together with the team with like Stevie Ray and the lower level B team.
No, or you know, first he was with the A team, you know, because he was against Flair. Look, I'm trying to don't fucking. Anyways, you know, they put all these guys together in this group, and they just get lost in it. And you had some. I mean, if you were to look at the old NWO, you had some great talent in there. It's just they were hidden behind Hogan.
Anyway. So anyway, back to the show. Speaking of the NWO, we had AJ Styles in his best 1997 Sting impression, coming out wearing all black gear all of a sudden, versus James Storm. And probably I would say it was a great main event match. They worked very well together. Of course they're going to work well together. This is the 5 millionth time they've worked together. But I think these are two guys you can throw on the card at any point, and they're going to give a good match.
This was one of their best matches together. Like you said, they fought each other over the course of 11 years in this company alone. You know, 1.5 million times.
Yeah.
But this was an awesome match. The finish was spectacular. That new move of AJ's.
The new finisher. I don't even know what they're calling it.
I don't either. But I liked it.
It's kind of like when Sting had the Scorpion, and then they went to the Scorpion Death Drop too.
Yeah.
Like I said, to me, if you watch back the last, I don't know, ever since probably the beginning of the year, we've been comparing this to the AJ Styles to the Sting in the NWO, and it's basically following the same format.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think AJ can pull this out, though. I was really impressed with this match.
Well, AJ's AJ. AJ's the face of the company.
He is. And as much as they've been shitting on him, I think the whole thing is going to turn around after, what is it? He can't get a title shot until when?
I don't even know.
Be at the end of the year. I think towards the end of the year, you're going to see AJ Styles be the face of the company again.
There you go.
I think it's going to.
Then what did you think about after the match when Bad Influence was holding his arms up and clotheslines him?
Oh, yeah.
Then he gets out of the ring in just enough time for Aces and Eights to destroy everybody but him.
Mm-hmm.
Which leads to my hero and yours, Bully Ray, calling out Hulk Hogan for next week. Which reminds me, our Thunderlips count for the week. We had not one, but two. Two Thunderlips.
2 times, brother!
And it wasn't even on the show. It was in a backstage pre-tape segment, so not bad. Hogan's going to get called out next week. Probably going to be on the show 7, 8 different times.
That's what the show needs.
Yeah. Anyway, let's go right into our ratings. Now, you know if you've watched us before, but if not, I'll repeat it. We go for a rating system of 1 through a 5, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. As Gary said earlier, Garrett Bischoff's a 1, Christian York's a 2, James Storm's a 3, Christopher Daniels is a 4, and Kurt Angle's a 5. What would you give the show, Gary?
I'm giving it a James Storm because I like the main event. We get a number 3. There's a lot of different. Plus, Bad Influence has a new T-shirt.
All right, you talked me into it. I'm giving it a James Storm. I'm giving it a 3.
As excited as you were about that, man, that's the only reason I gave it a 3. Is because you were like, Bad Influence gets a new T-shirt, man. Text me.
The main event was awesome. The X match was good. The Angle versus Bischoff and Briscoe was better than I thought it would be.
Plus, you got a Canadian Destroyer on the deal too.
There you go.
You know.
But anyway, So we both give it a 3. Anything else you need to add?
That's it, my friend.
My name is George Coles.
Gary Rhodes.
This has been Heel Heat.